questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A poignant bill signing at the White House yesterday. President Trump signing the Right to Try bill, joined on stage by Vice President Pence. This is to provide patients dealing with debilitating diseases like ALS to try experimental drugs and treatments. President Trump addressing those in attendance.
As I sign the Right to Try legislation into law. Right? Right? If I looked like that, I would have been president 10 years earlier. If I had that face, if I had that head of hair, I would have been president so long ago. That's great.
He finally hugged the kid.
A little boy with muscular dystrophy, I believe. So it was a nice moment. For more on Right to Try and some other matters like Spygate, we're pleased to be joined by Kathryn Jean Lopez. She is an editor-at-large of National Review, nationalreview.com. Kathryn Jean, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Hello, Kathryn Jean. Do we have her?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
All right, there we are.
There we are. Thank you for being with us.
The technology works for us.
The Right to Try legislation, this is an important piece of legislation Trump signed, not just in the area of deregulation, of course, and the FDA, but for sort of an overture to people that are in dealing with terrible, debilitating diseases.
Yeah, I know. It was such a sign of hope for a lot of people. It's been a state level issue for a little while now, and there are a lot of people who are grateful to the president for signing that yesterday. It's one of those issues that I think doesn't rise to the occasion of kitchen table conversation, but heaven knows if it's if you're dealing with it, it means everything in the world if you're faced with a grave illness.
Why not?
Right.
Try
That's
anything,
exactly
even if it's not FDA approved. But why did it take so long? Why didn't President Obama sign the Right to Try bill, or why have the other presidents ignored this?
Well, it really has taken on steam in the last 2 to 3 years. And Darcy Olson, who used to be at the Goldwater Institute, wrote a book, I think it was called Right to Try, and is probably one of the foremost experts. And she was really pushing on a state level. And I think she and some other people deserve a lot of credit for raising it to the level that a president would pay attention. And some of the disentanglement from Obamacare probably, of course, helps this because I think there's a newfound environment where we can look at smaller things rather than those are always the problem with comprehensive, right? Who the heck knows what's in this bill, including the people who are the biggest advocates of it, right? Some of the issues that are closest to my heart, like the Health and Human Services mandate that got all entangled in abortion drugs and sends the Little Sisters of the Poor to the Supreme Court, wasn't even supposed to be part of it, supposedly. Joe Biden told us with a straight face and others. So anyway, I think we're just in a little bit of a new environment where there's the possibility for exploring some of these things that are so urgent for people.
Well, it was a nice reprieve from what else is dominating the news, be it Roseanne's tweets or Spygate, and some development in Spygate. This is fascinating, particularly with respect to the D.C. press corps' lack of intellectual curiosity about what Stephen Halper was doing and why he was doing it and to whom he was reporting and what he reported when he was embedded in the Trump campaign. White House trade guy Peter Navarro said that Halper sought out members of Trump's campaign to apply for an ambassadorship to an unnamed Asian country in the Trump administration. that's it's sort of a remarkable development. This is a asset of the FBI, supposedly just looking to quell any Russian meddling or the potential for Russian meddling in the campaign. No briefing to candidate Trump and President Trump about his existence, and yet at the same time he's seeking an ambassador post in the administration. This is just sort of surreal, isn't it?
Couldn't the word surreal describe just about any breaking news story?
That's a fair point.
Just about every morning. Yeah, no, absolutely. I gotta be honest with you. It's stories like the right to try that legislation that keep me going every day.
Yeah, yeah.
The rest of this, it does sound like, I mean, it's called Spygate. It's called. It does feel like we're watching the ultimate reality TV show, and I'm amazed by the ability of people to keep up with every detail. I've been a political geek for longer than I care to admit. Reading National Review magazine when I was 10 or 11.
Just like Dan.
Join the club, yeah.
Yeah, and I've always wanted people to pay more attention to politics. And I got to be honest with you, now that they're paying more attention to politics, I'd like them to take a couple of steps back.
You want us to go away.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's become this addiction, and everywhere you turn, you sit in a diner, you talk to an Uber driver, everybody's talking about what who had lunch with whom last night or dinner last night, there's this addictive level to some of these news stories. It's all important, of course, but at the same time, over the last couple of years, I feel like we've developed this bipartisan problem where everybody sort of looks national, and you're looking for the president to change your life, kind of thing. And that's not the way it works. And so I think there's a certain amount of unhealthiness about paying attention to every detail. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, totally. But
as we have to.
but then there's also the kind of the consistent disappointment, even with those people that you think are railing against the ruling class. They're trying to abide their responsibilities as a member of Congress with, oversight responsibilities, like, say, Trey Gowdy has, and a prosecutor, and you think he's a straight shooter. And then he made this comment the other day with Martha McCallum about the FBI doing exactly what you would want them to do with respect to this whole Halper situation. And then we come to find out Molly Hemingway, reporting in The Federalist, when he suggests the FBI did nothing wrong and that it did everything you would want it to do, and after his briefing last Friday, his confidence is renewed in the FBI. Now we find out that Gowdy never received the relevant documents on the matter subpoenaed. He told the Federalist, through a spokesman, that he doesn't even know what documents and records were subpoenaed by the House Select Committee on Intelligence. So it seems like Gowdy is still engaged in, even Trey Gowdy is sort of engaged in a leap of faith to the benefit of agencies that haven't proven they deserve the benefit of the doubt recently.
And we're relying on these oversight folks to be doing due diligence. And I should plug Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor, who has a piece on this on nationalreview.com this morning. There is no better analyst, although Molly Hemingway is excellent on everything.
So how do you feel? Do you think this was a spy? This was a source? This was an informant?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. And And so I'm like you with a lot of the listeners, with a continuing sense of disappointment and bewilderment about what's going on here, and so I think we're all watching together here.
You write a lot about culture in National Review, and so Roseanne, the tweet, the response, the coverage of the president's response, the demand for the president to have a response, Sarah Sanders having to field questions about the president's lack of a response or the quality of his response. Just going back to what you were saying before about the president having to be omnipresent in our lives, So I think it ratcheted up during the Obama years, and perhaps it's even more prevalent during Trump. And what you think that portends for the future of this representative republic?
Yeah, it used to be that you could just watch primetime TV and not be part of the presidential news cycle, right? I was never a big fan of the Roseanne show, so I probably shouldn't be a commentator on that particular issue. That having been said, it is just as you were saying, it is just amazing how wrapped up in everything the presidency is.
Yeah, we have some breaking
I don't
news.
think that's the healthiest thing in the world.
Yeah, breaking news. Trump tweets that he's going to give a pardon to Dinesh D'Souza.
Well, that's, I can't even say, well, that's surprising news this morning, because it's always surprising news this morning.
He keeps you on your
Frequently
toes.
surprising news out of a presidential tweet.
She is Kathryn Jean Lopez, editor-at-large of National Review, nationalreview.com. Kathryn Jean, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good day.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer.